What if the key to everything you want starts inside your own mind? You deserve success, happiness, and peace not someday, but right now. The way you think shapes what you get in life. If your mindset holds you back, your dreams will stay just dreams. But if you learn to control your thoughts, you can open doors you didn't even know existed. This video is about breaking free from doubt and fear and stepping into the life you were meant to live. We'll uncover simple but powerful steps to master your mindset so you stop settling and start claiming what's truly yours. You'll feel more confident, focused, and ready to take action. If you're ready to take charge of your mind and finally get what you truly deserve, then let's dive in. Number 1. Train your thoughts to focus on success. Most people wake up already behind. Behind on their bills, behind on their dreams, behind on their promises to themselves. They feel stuck. They feel overwhelmed. They feel like no matter how hard they try, nothing changes. They open their eyes in the morning, and the first thing that hits them isn't gratitude or drive, it's stress, pressure, and anxiety. That's the reality for too many. And it doesn't get better just because we hope it will. It only gets better when we do something about it. When we decide to train our mind like we train our body. When we stop letting life happen to us and we begin to shape it from the inside out. And this is where it begins, with your thoughts. The way you think about yourself. The way you talk to yourself when no one's around. The pictures you keep replaying in your head. Most people don't even realize they're playing an old, broken recording of failure and fear day after day. They're rehearsing what went wrong. They're reliving the rejection. They're looping the mistakes and never interrupting the pattern. That's dangerous. That keeps people stuck for years. If you don't interrupt that cycle, it runs your life. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you think about it. You can control how long you stay in that pain. You can decide what to focus on, because what you focus on grows. If you're constantly focused on what's missing, what's broken, what's unfair, then all you'll feel is lack. And that becomes your emotional home. You start expecting disappointment. You start assuming nothing ever works. And that expectation trains your mind to notice more of the same. That's not a mindset, it's a trap. But here's the truth. You can train your thoughts to work for you instead of against you. You don't need to be born confident. You don't need to have all the answers. What you need is a decision. A real decision to take control of your mind. Because the world will try to distract you. It will give you reasons to feel small, to give up, to play it safe. That's why you have to train your mind like a warrior trains for battle. Because life isn't a walk in the park, it's a climb. And if your mind is weak, the climb will break you. But if your mind is strong, the climb will build you. You don't get a strong mindset by accident. You build it through discipline, through catching yourself in the act of thinking small and stopping it. You redirect. You shift. You pause and ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? That's awareness. That's how change begins. You notice when you're spiraling. You catch the negativity before it picks up speed. And instead of feeding it, you replace it. You speak what you want to feel. You focus on what's working. You train your thoughts like a coach trains a team to win. Success doesn't show up for those who hope it works out. Success shows up for those who've already seen it in their mind 1,000 times. You have to train your brain to think like the version of you who's already won. See, success doesn't start with money, titles, or approval. It starts in your thoughts. If you can't see yourself succeeding, you won't. If you can't imagine a better life, you'll stay in the one you've got, even if you hate it. Your thoughts are the blueprint. They shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. And yes, it takes effort. Real effort. You'll have days where your thoughts are full of doubt and fear. You'll be tempted to go back to old patterns. But every time you choose to focus on progress instead of problems, you're rewiring your brain. You're building strength. You're proving to yourself that you're in charge. That's what success is. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you think before you do it. People often ask, why can't I stay motivated? It's because they haven't learned how to think differently. You can read every book and attend every seminar, but if you don't change the way you think, nothing changes. Motivation fades, but mindset? That sticks when it's trained. When it becomes a habit, you have to wake up and decide what kind of thoughts you allow to take root. If you allow fear, fear grows. If you allow doubt, doubt takes over. But if you feed belief, belief begins to shape you. Start with small wins. Catch one negative thought and flip it. Tell yourself you're capable, even when it feels like you're not. Remind yourself that everything you need is already inside you, waiting to be activated. That's not hype. That's truth. You've got power you haven't even tapped into yet. You just need to stop feeding the noise and start feeding the vision. Focus your mind like a spotlight. Point it at what you want. Keep it there, every single day. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to keep showing up for yourself. Keep interrupting the old story. Keep writing a better one. That's how you build momentum. And with momentum, everything changes. You begin to believe in yourself again. You begin to trust that effort pays off. And that belief fuels more effort. Before you know it, your entire life starts to shift. Not because the world got easier, but because your mind got stronger. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just thinking the same way you did yesterday. And yesterday's thoughts won't create tomorrow's success. You need new thoughts, clear thoughts, focused thoughts, thoughts that build you, not break you, thoughts that stretch you, not shrink you. Because what you allow in your mind eventually becomes your reality. So train it, sharpen it, guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your mind can be your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. That's a choice. And it starts with awareness. Start noticing, start choosing, start replacing, start training every single day. Because if you can train your thoughts to focus on success, you can start living a life that reflects it. And that kind of life, that's not just deserved, that's earned. Number 2, replace self-doubt with powerful daily affirmations. Most people spend their whole lives trying to convince everyone else that they're good enough while secretly believing they're not. They smile in public but question everything in private. They nod when someone compliments them, but deep inside they don't feel worthy of that praise. They chase goals not because they believe in themselves, but because they're trying to outrun their own insecurities. That's a painful way to live. And it doesn't matter how much success you stack up. If your mind is filled with self-doubt, you'll always feel like an imposter standing in your own life. This is something many never admit, but everyone feels at some point. The feeling that you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. The belief that maybe others have something you don't. That they're born with it and you're not. That somehow you're just pretending and one day everyone's going to figure it out. These thoughts don't just live in your head, they shape your choices. They hold you back from asking, from trying, from showing up fully. Self-doubt doesn't just make you hesitant, it robs you of your future while pretending to protect you from failure. But here's the truth most people don't hear enough. You were not born doubting yourself. Doubt is not something that comes with your DNA. It's learned. It's picked up from rejection, criticism, comparison, and failure. Over time, these moments pile up and begin to define how you see yourself. And if you don't interrupt that story, it becomes your reality. You start to live a life that's smaller than your potential, all because of a lie you've been repeating to yourself quietly for years. If you want to break free from self-doubt, you have to take control of the conversation happening in your own mind. Because what you say to yourself matters more than what anyone else says to you. Most people are waiting for someone else to validate them, but that's a losing game. You need to be the one who validates you. Every day. Not once. Not occasionally. Every single day. Because the world is full of noise and negativity, and if you're not feeding yourself something stronger, the outside voices will win. This is where affirmations come in. Not the kind you whisper without emotion. Not the ones you say just to check a box. But real, powerful, specific affirmations that align with the person you are becoming. You speak them out loud. You speak them with energy. You speak them with belief even if you're not there yet. Because affirmations are not magic. They don't work because you say them once. They work because you say them until they become your truth. And when you do it right, something begins to shift. Not outside. Inside. You walk differently. You talk differently. You show up differently. Because the words you repeat to yourself create your inner world. And your inner world eventually shapes your outer world. If you keep saying you're not good enough, you'll find ways to prove that true. You'll sabotage your progress. You'll turn down opportunities. You'll avoid taking action. But if you start saying you are worthy, you are capable, you are enough over time, your actions begin to reflect that truth. It takes practice. It takes daily attention. You can't say something once and expect a transformation. You have to flood your mind with the right language every single morning. Right when you wake up, your mind is at its most open and unfiltered. That's the moment to speak life into your future. You remind yourself who you are. You remind yourself what you're here for. You drown out the doubt before it even gets a chance to speak. You start your day with intention, not by accident. The people who get what they deserve in life are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who got tired of believing the worst about themselves. They got sick of letting fear lead their decisions. They started feeding their mind with stronger thoughts. And you can do the same, but it has to be deliberate. You don't become confident by waiting. You become confident by deciding that you're done shrinking for the comfort of others. You stop making room for doubt and start creating space for belief. Write your affirmations down. Speak them when no one's watching. Say them when you feel weak. Say them when you're scared. Say them when nothing seems to be working. That's when they matter most. They're not just feel-good phrases. They're mental training. They're rewiring your brain to see yourself differently, to break the old pattern, to write a new identity, because if your identity doesn't change, your results won't either. People look at someone successful and think they must have always believed in themselves, but most of the time, that's not true. They learned to speak to themselves differently. They stopped calling themselves failures. They stopped labeling themselves based on mistakes. They chose new words. Empowering words, words that gave them strength. And it wasn't overnight. It was every morning, every time they fell, every time they doubted, they fought back with affirmations. If you want to see change, you have to change your input. Don't just avoid negativity. Feed positivity. Give your mind something stronger to work with. When your default thought is, I can't, you need to train a new default. I will. I am able. I belong. You don't need anyone else to say it to you first. You say it. You own it. You repeat it until it becomes natural. And you'll notice something interesting. The more you affirm your strength, the more you'll act strong. The more you affirm your worth, the less you'll settle. The more you affirm your purpose, the clearer your path becomes. Affirmations are not about pretending. They're about preparing. They get your mind ready to act in alignment with your higher self. They help you stop playing small. They help you stand up even when the world gives you reasons to stay down. Doubt will always knock, but you don't have to let it in. You don't have to entertain every insecure thought. You don't have to believe every fear. You're in control of your mental environment. And if you keep filling it with truth, confidence, and power, eventually there's no room left for doubt. It fades, it weakens, it loses its grip, because your belief has grown stronger than your fear. Every single day is a chance to rewrite the way you think about yourself, a chance to drop the old story and speak a new one. The world may not always believe in you, but you must, and when you do it long enough, the world starts to catch up. But it starts with you. It starts with what you say when no one else is around. That's where confidence is built. That's where power is born. Number 3, visualize your goals every single morning. There is a moment in the morning when your mind is still fresh, like a blank page waiting to be written on. Most people waste this moment by scrolling through news feeds or rushing through a fog of stress and distraction. They do not realize that this is the time when the direction of their entire day can be set. It is the moment when your mind is most open and most impressionable. The moment when the seeds of your future can be planted with clarity and purpose. But this opportunity is missed because people don't know how powerful their imagination can be when they use it correctly. They underestimate the force of seeing something clearly in their mind before it happens in reality. Visualizing your goals every morning is not about daydreaming or wishing. It is a deliberate act of training your brain to focus on exactly what you want to achieve. It means creating a vivid picture in your mind of the life you want, the success you seek, and the person you are becoming. This is not vague thinking. This is detailed, sensory-rich imagining that involves not just seeing the outcome, but feeling it. Feeling what it's like to have achieved your goal. Hearing the sounds around you. Smelling the environment. Experiencing the emotions as if it were happening right now. When you do this consistently, your mind starts to believe it is possible, and it begins to pull your actions toward that reality. The problem is many people have goals but no clear vision. They say, "I want to be successful," but they don't see success clearly. Without a picture, their goals remain abstract and their minds wander. This lack of focus causes hesitation and doubt. You cannot chase something you cannot see. Your mind needs clarity to organize itself. It needs a target to aim at. Visualizing your goals every single morning gives your brain that target. It aligns your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It primes you to notice opportunities and take actions that lead to your desired result. It is not magic. It is science. When you visualize, your brain generates neural patterns similar to those it creates when you actually perform the action. This means your mind trains itself to behave as if the goal is already real. It creates confidence. It sharpens your focus. It fuels motivation. When you see yourself succeeding clearly, you reduce fear because the unknown becomes known. The challenges ahead look like stepping stones instead of walls. Visualization allows you to rehearse success over and over before you even begin. To make this practice work, it must become a habit. It cannot be a one-time event or an occasional exercise. You must spend time each morning sitting quietly and taking your mind through your goals. Picture every detail. Picture your daily routine as the successful person you want to become. Imagine overcoming obstacles with calm and strength. Imagine the faces of those you care about, sharing your victories with them. Engage your senses fully. The more vivid the image, the stronger the effect. If your visualization is weak or unclear, your mind will not commit. There will be distractions. The world will scream for your attention. But this time in the morning is yours. It is sacred. It is the foundation for every decision and every effort that follows throughout the day. You have to protect it fiercely. Turn off your phone. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes. And see yourself winning. You do not need anyone to believe in your vision. You do not need proof. You only need to see it clearly enough that your mind accepts it as true. Many successful people credit visualization for their breakthroughs. It is not just wishful thinking, but a strategy for creating mental clarity and emotional commitment. When your mind is aligned with your goals, you begin to act differently. You make better choices. You stay persistent through setbacks. You are willing to put in the work because you have already experienced the reward in your mind. This mental rehearsal builds resilience. It reminds you why you started when times get tough. It gives you strength to keep going when others quit. Some may say that visualization is unrealistic. They say it sets people up for disappointment. But the reality is that without a clear vision, people drift. They settle for less than they deserve because they have not taken the time to see what is truly possible. Visualization does not guarantee success, but it guarantees direction. It ensures you are moving with purpose rather than wandering aimlessly. And when purpose drives your actions, success is much more likely. You cannot control every event in your life, but you can control how you prepare your mind for those events. Visualization is preparation. It is mental training that builds confidence and reduces fear. It is like rehearsing for an important speech or a big game. The more you practice in your mind, the more natural and powerful your real performance becomes. You begin to expect success, and expectation alone changes your brain chemistry to support it. This practice also helps you stay connected to your goals when distractions pull you away. Life will always have interruptions. There will be setbacks and disappointments. But if you have seen yourself succeeding in your mind, those moments become temporary. You understand that failure is part of the process. You can keep your eyes on the prize because you have already lived it in your mind. This mental clarity turns frustration into fuel. Visualizing your goals is a form of self-respect. It is saying that your dreams matter enough to dedicate time and energy to them every day. It is treating your future like a priority rather than an afterthought. It changes the way you think about yourself because you begin to see yourself as someone who achieves, someone who is capable and worthy. That shift in identity is priceless. It opens doors in your mind that were once locked by doubt. Begin by imagining one specific goal. Make it as detailed as possible. Where are you? What are you doing? Who is with you? How do you feel? Spend at least 5 minutes every morning with this image. Over time, add more goals. Add more detail. Let your mind build a full picture of your success story. When you make this a daily practice, your mind stops wandering and starts working for you. You create a powerful internal force that pushes you toward your goals every day. When you visualize, you set the tone for your entire day. You create a mental atmosphere where success is expected. This expectation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because your thoughts, feelings, and actions all align with the vision you hold. You don't just hope for better, you prepare for better. And preparation is the most reliable path to achievement. The life you want is not just a dream, it is a vision waiting for you to claim it. And the way to claim it starts each morning in your mind. It is a choice, a discipline, a practice. When you see it clearly, your brain will find ways to bring it into reality. This is the power of visualization. It is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It turns your goals from distant hopes into living realities. Number 4, eliminate distractions that weaken your mental clarity. Every day, millions of people feel like their mind is in a constant fog. They sit down with a clear intention to work or improve themselves, but their focus slips away like water through their fingers. The noise of the world pulls at them from all directions. Notifications buzz endlessly. The demands of others pile up. Thoughts scatter wildly, making it almost impossible to settle into the work that matters. It is exhausting and frustrating. Most people don't realize how much their distractions are stealing from their potential. It's not just about wasted time. It is about how these interruptions chip away at their mental clarity and strength. When the mind is cluttered, progress slows. Decisions become harder. Creativity disappears. Confidence weakens. The weight of unfinished tasks and half-completed goals drags on the spirit. This is the silent enemy many face every day without naming it. Distractions are not just external interruptions, they also come from inside. Worries, fears, random thoughts, and emotional turmoil can break your focus just as much as a ringing phone or an unimportant message. If you want to master your mindset and get what you truly deserve, you must learn to protect your mind from these disruptions. It is a harsh reality that life will never be free of distractions. The world is moving faster than ever, and technology connects us to everything all at once. The challenge is not to eliminate all distractions, because that is impossible, but to eliminate the distractions that weaken your mental clarity and prevent you from doing your best work. This means making conscious decisions about what you allow into your mind and your time. It requires discipline, courage, and self-awareness. The first step is to identify your biggest distractions. What pulls you away from your focus most often? Is it social media, constant emails, unnecessary meetings, or noisy environments? Or is it your own restless mind jumping from one worry to the next? Once you recognize these distractions, you can start setting boundaries. This might mean turning off your phone for certain hours, creating a quiet workspace, or scheduling specific times to check messages. It means saying no to things that do not serve your highest goals and yes to your own mental peace. Many people underestimate the power of a clear mind. They believe they can do good work while multitasking or reacting to every notification. But science shows that multitasking reduces productivity and increases mistakes. Every time you switch your attention, it takes your brain time to refocus. This constant shifting drains your energy and frays your concentration. To truly master your mindset, you must train yourself to work with single-minded focus for chunks of time. This is how you build mental stamina. Mental clarity is like a muscle. It grows stronger with exercise and weakens with neglect. You can build your focus by practicing deliberate concentration. Start with small periods of focused work without interruption. Gradually increase the time. Use techniques like deep breathing to calm your mind when it feels scattered. When distracting thoughts come, acknowledge them, but do not chase them. Gently return your attention to the task at hand. This practice rewires your brain to resist distraction and maintain clarity. Emotional distractions are just as powerful as external ones. Stress, anxiety, and unresolved issues take up mental space. If your mind is busy with internal chaos, it cannot focus on your goals. To clear these distractions, you must develop emotional awareness and management. This might involve journaling your thoughts, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing mindfulness. When you create mental space by dealing with your emotions, your clarity improves naturally. You become less reactive and more deliberate. A clear mind also requires physical care. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and inactivity dull your brain. When your body is tired or drained, your mind cannot perform at its best. You must treat your body as part of your mental strategy. Sleep well, eat nourishing food, and move your body regularly. These simple habits boost brain function and help keep distractions at bay. Many people fill their days with endless inputs and never give their mind a chance to rest. Silence and solitude are powerful tools for clarity. Taking breaks away from screens and noise allows your brain to reset. Spending time in nature or quiet reflection recharges your focus. You do not have to be constantly busy to be productive. In fact, mental clarity often comes from stillness and intentional pauses. When distractions are under control, you gain something priceless, the ability to think deeply. Deep thinking allows you to solve problems, generate ideas, and plan effectively. It gives you the power to move beyond surface-level activity and create meaningful progress. Without it, you are stuck reacting to whatever pulls your attention. You lose control of your day and your future. Protecting your mental clarity is a form of self-respect. It sends a message to yourself and others that your time and mind are valuable. When you guard your focus, you raise your standards, you demand better from your environment and from yourself. This is how you build a mindset that attracts success instead of distractions. The process requires honesty. You have to admit when distractions are winning. You have to be willing to make changes. It might mean uncomfortable conversations, saying no to tempting offers, or restructuring your day. But every change you make to protect your clarity pays off in better decisions, stronger work, and faster progress. Remember, distractions are not just nuisances. They are thieves of your future. Every minute you spend scattered is a minute you do not invest in your dreams. Every time you give your mind to interruptions, you lose a piece of your power. But the good news is you have control. You can choose what deserves your attention. You can create a mental environment where your goals can grow and thrive. A clear mind attracts clarity in life. When your thoughts are sharp, your path becomes clear. When your focus is strong, your actions become effective. When distractions are minimized, your results multiply. This is how you move from dreaming about what you deserve to actually living it. Discipline in eliminating distractions is not about being harsh on yourself. It is about creating conditions for your best life. It is about giving your mind the space it needs to grow and shine. It is about making your success a priority every day. When you learn to protect your mental clarity, you unlock a powerful force that drives you forward no matter what challenges come your way. This is a key step toward mastering your mindset. It allows you to focus on what matters most, stay calm under pressure, and move steadily toward your goals. The clearer your mind, the clearer your path to the life you truly deserve. Number 5. Build discipline through consistent daily habits. One of the hardest realities that many people face is the gap between wanting to change and actually making that change happen. The truth is, desire alone does not move mountains. Wishing for a better life, success, or happiness without the daily work is like planting seeds and never watering them. Most people feel stuck because they expect big results but neglect the small actions that create those results. They wait for motivation or inspiration to strike and then wonder why their dreams remain distant. The secret to mastering your mindset and getting what you truly deserve is discipline, and discipline comes from consistent daily habits. Discipline is not about harshness or deprivation. It is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate in a way that drains your spirit. Discipline is about building a rhythm that supports your goals. It is the daily structure that keeps you moving forward even when your emotions say no. This structure turns overwhelming challenges into manageable steps. It helps you build momentum. Without daily habits, even the strongest willpower falters. Habits create a foundation, so your effort becomes natural and automatic. Many people underestimate how much their future depends on what they do every day. They look for shortcuts or quick fixes, but forget that success is a compound process. Just like money grows with interest, your progress grows with the power of repeated small actions. A single choice to work for 30 minutes instead of watching television, or to prepare a healthy meal instead of grabbing fast food, might seem small in isolation. But when repeated daily, these choices add up to a life transformed. This is the power of discipline through habit. Building discipline means creating habits that align with your goals and values. It requires honesty about what habits serve you and which ones hold you back. This can be uncomfortable because it means facing your routines without excuses. It means asking yourself what you really want and being willing to change what does not support that vision. Discipline requires patience because habits take time to form. The good news is that every day you practice discipline, you are training your brain to become stronger and more reliable. The most important thing about habits is consistency. It is better to do a little every day than to do a lot one day and nothing the next. When your habits become daily rituals, they require less mental effort. Your mind stops fighting you because the actions become second nature. You no longer need to negotiate with yourself about whether to do them or not. This frees your energy to focus on progress instead of decisions. Discipline is also about handling setbacks without giving up. No one is perfect, and slipping up is part of the journey. The difference is that disciplined people do not let failure define them. They treat mistakes as feedback and keep going. This mindset of resilience strengthens your habits over time. The more you practice discipline despite obstacles, the more confident you become in your ability to control your future. Building discipline requires planning. Successful people do not leave their day to chance. They prepare in advance. They decide the key habits they want to focus on and schedule time for them. This might be waking up early to exercise, setting aside time to read, or writing down daily goals. Planning makes habits visible and real. It holds you accountable to yourself and makes it easier to say no to distractions. The environment around you plays a huge role in supporting discipline. When your surroundings encourage your habits, it becomes easier to stick with them. This might mean organizing your workspace to minimize clutter, keeping healthy food available, or avoiding places that tempt you to break your commitments. Changing your environment to match your goals is a smart strategy that helps your discipline grow stronger. Discipline is also deeply connected to your mindset. If you believe that you can control your actions and shape your future, discipline becomes a tool rather than a burden. If you see it as punishment or something imposed from outside, it will feel like a struggle. Changing your perspective on discipline to one of empowerment makes all the difference. Discipline then becomes a form of respect for yourself and your potential. One of the biggest challenges people face is the desire for immediate gratification. The modern world offers constant rewards for small actions, like likes on social media or quick purchases, which can pull attention away from long-term goals. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification and focus on what matters most. It means choosing the hard work today for a better tomorrow. This choice is not always easy, but it is the only way to build lasting success. Daily habits build more than just skills or results. They build character. When you show up for yourself consistently, you prove that you are reliable and committed. This creates confidence that spills over into every part of your life. You begin to trust your own ability to follow through. That trust becomes a foundation for bigger goals and deeper growth. It is important to start small and build gradually. Trying to overhaul your life overnight leads to burnout and disappointment. Instead, focus on 1 or 2 habits that will make the biggest impact. Give yourself time to adjust and celebrate small wins along the way. Progress is progress, no matter how slow. The key is persistence. Discipline built through daily habits creates a powerful cycle. As you achieve small successes, your motivation grows. Your mindset shifts from doubt to belief. Your actions become easier and more enjoyable. This cycle reinforces itself and pushes you closer to the life you deserve. It is not a mystery or luck. It is a process anyone can follow with determination. When your habits align with your goals, discipline feels natural. You no longer fight yourself but work with your own momentum. You develop patience and strength. You become someone who does not quit when challenges arise, but instead finds a way forward. This is the kind of mindset that transforms dreams into reality. The path to mastery of your mindset runs through the habits you build. Discipline is the bridge between wanting and having. It is the daily proof that you are serious about your life. Without it, even the clearest vision remains out of reach. But with it, you become unstoppable. This work may not always be glamorous or easy. Some days will be tough. You will face resistance. But every time you choose to keep your commitment, you grow stronger. Every day you build discipline, you are shaping the future you want. You are becoming the person capable of receiving what you truly deserve. Number 6, surround yourself with people who uplift you. It is a hard fact that not everyone you meet wants to see you grow. Many people settle into comfort zones where they avoid risks and discourage change. You might find yourself in situations where the people around you drain your energy instead of fueling your passion. This happens far more often than people admit. The company you keep shapes how you think, what you believe, and ultimately what you become. If the people around you talk more about problems than solutions, doubt instead of hope, or failure instead of progress, it becomes nearly impossible to master your mindset and get what you truly deserve. Human beings are wired for connection. We pick up attitudes, moods, and behaviors from those we spend the most time with. This influence happens quietly but powerfully. When your circle is filled with people who believe in you, challenge you, and push you forward, your mind naturally shifts towards success. You begin to adopt their habits, their language, and their belief in possibilities. It becomes easier to face challenges because you know you are not alone. But when your environment is toxic or unsupportive, your mind surrenders to doubt and fear, making progress almost unreachable. Surrounding yourself with the right people is not just about having cheerleaders. It is about finding those who bring honesty and accountability into your life. People who will call you out when you make excuses and inspire you to rise above your limits. True support does not come from empty praise, but from constructive encouragement that helps you grow. Those who truly uplift you help you see your potential even when you cannot see it yourself. They remind you of your worth on days when your confidence falters. It is important to recognize that you also have power in choosing your circle. Sometimes people stay in relationships out of habit, loyalty, or fear of loneliness. Yet holding on to connections that pull you down is like trying to swim while carrying heavy weights. It is painful and slows progress. Real growth requires the courage to distance yourself from negative influences and to seek out those who align with your vision for life. This may mean making difficult decisions about friendships, work relationships, or family dynamics. Finding uplifting people starts with self-awareness. You must understand what kind of energy and mindset you want to cultivate. Once clear on this, you can identify those around you who reflect these qualities. Look for individuals who inspire you by their actions, who listen deeply, and who support your goals without judgment. These people might be mentors, friends, colleagues, or even people you have not met yet. Sometimes reaching out and building new relationships is necessary to fill your life with positive influences. Spending time with people who uplift you creates a feedback loop of motivation and growth. Their success and attitudes become examples you can follow. When you hear stories of perseverance, discipline, and achievement, it reminds you that your dreams are possible. Their energy becomes contagious. Being around driven and optimistic individuals challenges you to match their level of commitment. It pushes you to work harder and believe bigger. The opposite is equally true. When surrounded by negativity, your mindset shrinks. You hear constant complaints, doubts, and fears. This chatter seeps into your thoughts and weakens your confidence. It makes you question your abilities and the worthiness of your goals. Negative company breeds hesitation and complacency. It convinces you that change is risky and failure is inevitable. The mind, once trained by such an environment, becomes a prison rather than a tool for freedom. Maintaining uplifting relationships also means being selective about how you engage. It is not enough to simply be near positive people. You must actively participate in conversations and activities that reinforce your purpose. Sharing your goals and struggles with trusted individuals creates a support system that carries you through tough times. This openness builds trust and deepens bonds that motivate you to stay on track. Isolation or silence, on the other hand, leaves you vulnerable to discouragement. Sometimes uplifting relationships require effort and vulnerability. It means investing time to nurture connections and to be a source of support yourself. True relationships are reciprocal. When you encourage others, you reinforce your own mindset. The act of lifting others boosts your own confidence and purpose. It creates a community of mutual growth where everyone benefits. This sense of belonging feeds the soul and strengthens your resolve. There is also a practical side to this. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you exposes you to new ideas and opportunities. When your circle is motivated and goal-oriented, you gain access to resources, advice, and collaborations that might otherwise be unavailable. This network accelerates your progress and expands your horizons. You begin to see paths forward that were hidden when you were alone or stuck with negative influences. You might have to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. This is not easy but is essential for growth. Sometimes people change in different directions. Sometimes their attitudes become toxic or draining. Holding on to such connections out of guilt or fear only limits your potential. It takes courage to step away and to surround yourself with those who truly uplift your mind and spirit. Changing your social environment may require physical and mental shifts. It could mean joining new groups, attending events, or seeking mentorship. It might involve ending conversations or setting boundaries with people who drain your energy. These changes can be uncomfortable but necessary. The discomfort of growth is always temporary compared to the lasting benefits of a positive circle. Your mindset is your most valuable asset. Protecting and nurturing it means guarding it from toxic influences and investing it in relationships that nourish your goals. The people you spend your time with shape your reality more than any book or course. This influence can be your greatest ally or your biggest enemy. When you surround yourself with those who uplift you, your mindset blossoms. You become more focused, motivated, and resilient. Think about the people who inspire you. What qualities do they have? How do they make you feel about your own potential? When you surround yourself with similar people, you create an environment where your best self can grow. You create a life where your mindset becomes your strength, not your weakness. This is the foundation to getting what you truly deserve. Life is too short to spend it with people who dim your light. Your time and energy are precious. Choose carefully who you allow in your inner circle. Surround yourself with those who see your value and push you to be better. Their influence will shape your thoughts, your habits, and your future. This is one of the most powerful decisions you can make on the journey to mastering your mindset and claiming what you truly deserve. Number 7, turn every failure into a valuable lesson. The moment failure hits is one of the toughest moments most people will face. It feels like the ground disappears beneath your feet. You experience doubt, frustration, and maybe even shame. Many people see failure as the end of the road, a sign that they are not good enough or that their dreams are impossible. This reaction is natural, but it is also what keeps most people stuck. Failure is not a verdict, it is a signal. How you respond to failure determines whether it becomes a stepping stone or a stumbling block on your journey. Learning to turn failure into a valuable lesson is one of the most powerful ways to master your mindset and get what you truly deserve. Failure reveals what is not working. It is like a mirror showing you where you need to adjust your approach. When something does not go as planned, it exposes gaps in knowledge, habits, or strategy. Most people avoid looking closely at failure because it is uncomfortable. They would rather blame external circumstances or give up. But facing failure honestly allows you to learn and grow. It is not about dwelling on what went wrong, but about asking clear questions. What can I do differently next time? What is the lesson here? What is within my control that I overlooked? One of the biggest barriers to learning from failure is the emotional response. It is easy to get stuck in feelings of disappointment or self-criticism. This emotional reaction clouds your thinking and keeps you from seeing the opportunity hidden inside the setback. Managing your emotions does not mean ignoring them. It means acknowledging them but refusing to be ruled by them. You can feel the pain of failure without letting it define your identity or your future. Developing this emotional resilience requires practice and self-compassion. It means speaking kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down. Failure also challenges your beliefs about yourself. When something does not work out, the inner voice often says you are not capable or worthy. This voice is loud and convincing, but not true. Everyone experiences failure, including the most successful people. What sets them apart is their mindset. They see failure as a necessary part of progress, not a permanent condition. Changing how you interpret failure is a key step. Instead of seeing it as a reflection of your worth, view it as feedback that guides your growth. Taking ownership of failure is another essential step. It can be tempting to blame others or external factors to protect your ego. However, blaming keeps you powerless. When you own your mistakes, you reclaim control. You accept responsibility for what you can change. This mindset opens the door to improvement and success. It requires courage to admit mistakes, but also brings freedom. Once you accept where you fell short, you can create a plan to do better next time. Turning failure into a lesson also means embracing a mindset of curiosity. Instead of fearing mistakes, be curious about them. Ask what the failure is trying to teach you. Look for patterns in your setbacks. Are there recurring mistakes or habits that hold you back? Are you lacking certain skills or knowledge? Being curious helps you stay engaged and motivated. It shifts your focus from fear of failure to excitement about growth. Curiosity leads to discovery and innovation. Another important part of learning from failure is taking action. Reflection alone does not create change. After analyzing what went wrong, you must apply what you learned. This may require trying new strategies, seeking help, or developing new skills. It means experimenting and being willing to fail again with new knowledge. Action transforms lessons into progress. Without it, failure remains a painful experience with no forward movement. It is helpful to remember that success is built on many failures. Every breakthrough and achievement comes from a series of attempts, corrections, and persistence. Nobody succeeds without setbacks. This truth can be comforting when failure feels overwhelming. Knowing you are not alone in struggle connects you to a larger human experience. It reminds you that failure is temporary and part of the path, not the destination. Sharing your failures with trusted people can also be healing and educational. Talking about setbacks with mentors, friends, or coaches provides new perspectives and support. Others may see lessons you missed or offer encouragement to keep going. Openness about failure breaks down shame and isolation. It builds community and accountability. Being honest about your struggles empowers you and others to learn and grow together. Failing forward means using each failure as fuel to push yourself harder. It means refusing to quit just because the journey is tough. This attitude builds resilience and grit. It strengthens your mindset to overcome future obstacles. Every failure becomes a brick in the foundation of your success rather than a weight that drags you down. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes to respond to setbacks with confidence and determination. The lessons learned from failure often lead to unexpected opportunities. When you are forced to adjust your course, you might discover better paths or new strengths. Failure forces creativity and innovation. It pushes you out of comfort zones into areas where real growth happens. This transformation can only come from facing challenges head-on and refusing to let failure defeat you. You have the power to decide what failure means in your life. You can let it define you, or you can use it to redefine yourself. Every failure contains a lesson that is crucial for your growth and success. When you change your mindset to welcome these lessons, you unlock new possibilities. This shift opens the door to getting what you truly deserve because you become stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Success is not about never falling. It is about what you do after you fall. It is about how you train your mind to see failure as a necessary and valuable part of the process. When you embrace failure as a teacher, you take control of your journey. You become the master of your mindset. This mindset will carry you beyond obstacles, beyond doubts, and beyond limits. It will lead you to the life you want and deserve. Number 8. Speak only what you want into existence. There is a powerful force at work in the way you speak about yourself and your life. What you say shapes your reality more than most people realize. The words you use every day act like a blueprint for your mind and your future. Many people do not notice how often they talk themselves out of their dreams with negative or careless speech. Complaints, doubts, and fears spoken aloud reinforce what they do not want, not what they do want. This is a silent but constant sabotage that keeps people trapped in cycles of disappointment. Speaking only what you want into existence is one of the most effective ways to change your mindset and attract the life you deserve. Words carry weight. They influence your emotions, your actions, and the way others perceive you. When you say something negative, your brain registers it and often reacts as if it is true. Repeated negative talk rewires your brain to expect failure or struggle. This creates self-fulfilling prophecies that limit your potential. On the other hand, speaking positively and clearly about your goals sets your brain to look for opportunities, solutions, and possibilities. It builds confidence and motivation. Your words become a daily guide, directing your focus toward what you want rather than what you fear. Many people are unaware of how often they speak against their own desires. You might hear phrases like, "I cannot do this," "this is too hard," or "I am not good enough." These statements, even if said quietly or in passing, plant seeds of doubt. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between spoken words and actual events. It accepts what you say as commands to follow. That is why mastering your speech means being intentional with every sentence you say about yourself and your future. It is important to replace negative or doubtful language with words that support your goals and dreams. This means talking about your abilities, your progress, and your vision in a way that feels real and believable. You do not need to pretend or exaggerate. Simply speak with clarity and confidence about what you are working toward and who you want to become. For example, instead of saying, "I am struggling," you can say, "I am learning and growing every day." Instead of, "I will never achieve this," say, "I am moving closer to my goal every day." These subtle shifts have a profound impact on your mindset. Your words also affect the energy you carry. When you speak positively, you feel lighter, more hopeful, and energized. This energy is visible to others and attracts support and encouragement. Negative speech drains your energy and pushes people away. The tone you use when you talk about your life influences your relationships and the opportunities that come your way. Speaking only what you want into existence creates a magnetic field around you that draws success closer. Taking control of your speech means becoming aware of your inner dialogue and the words you use in conversation. Most people run on autopilot and repeat phrases learned from others or shaped by past experiences. Breaking this habit requires mindfulness and practice. You must catch yourself when negative words slip out and choose to say something better. This is not always easy because old patterns are strong. It requires persistence and patience to rewrite your inner and outer speech. Another key aspect is focusing on the present and the positive rather than dwelling on the past or problems. When you talk about what went wrong or what you do not have, you reinforce lack and failure. Instead, talk about what you are doing now, the progress you have made, and the goals you are pursuing. Use words that reflect growth and possibility. This keeps your mind engaged in creating a better future rather than stuck in regrets or complaints. Speaking what you want also means setting clear intentions with your words. When you say, "I am confident," "I am capable," or "I am successful," you are planting intentions in your subconscious. These statements help align your thoughts and actions with your desires. Over time, repeated affirmations become a natural part of how you see yourself. Your behavior changes to match your speech, and the results follow. This is the power of spoken intention. Your voice is your tool for building your life. How you use it influences your confidence and the way you handle challenges. Speaking positive words gives you strength during difficult times. It reminds you of your purpose and your potential. When obstacles arise, positive speech helps you stay focused and motivated instead of overwhelmed and discouraged. It creates a mental environment where solutions can flourish. It is also important to guard against gossip, negative talk about others, or spreading doubt. What you say about others reflects back on your mindset and your character. Speaking kindly and respectfully about people promotes a mindset of abundance and cooperation. This habit not only improves your relationships, but also sharpens your ability to speak positively about yourself. The language you choose influences not only your personal success, but your overall happiness. Negative speech traps you in a cycle of stress and dissatisfaction. Positive speech opens doors to joy, gratitude, and peace. When you speak about your life with optimism and purpose, you invite better experiences and deeper satisfaction. In practical terms, start each day by declaring what you want to create. Say out loud the qualities you want to embody and the goals you are aiming for. Repeat these affirmations regularly throughout the day to reinforce your mindset. When faced with setbacks, speak words of encouragement to yourself rather than defeat. This habit rewires your brain and gradually shifts your reality. Speaking only what you want into existence is not wishful thinking. It is a strategic and powerful way to train your mind to focus on what matters most. Words shape your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. They build the foundation of your beliefs and your confidence. When you control your speech, you control your mindset and your future. This practice takes commitment and honesty. You must be vigilant about the language you use and willing to change old habits. You will slip up at times, but what matters is returning to this mindset consistently. Over time, the quality of your speech transforms your identity and your life outcomes. You become a person who speaks success into being every day. The power to change your life starts with what you say. Your words are the seeds you plant in your mind and soul. Plant them with care and purpose. Speak only what you want into existence and watch your life grow into the reality you deserve. Number 9. Protect your energy by setting firm boundaries. Life is not just about what you do or what you achieve. It is also about how you manage your energy and protect what matters most inside you. Many people feel drained, overwhelmed, or stuck because they allow others to take more from them than they give back. Without strong boundaries, your time, your emotions, and your mental strength become scattered and depleted. You cannot grow or succeed when your energy is constantly pulled in different directions. Setting firm boundaries is not selfish. It is necessary for preserving your well-being and creating space for the life you deserve. Most people underestimate how much energy they waste on things that do not serve them. Whether it is saying yes to every request, tolerating toxic relationships, or allowing negative environments to affect their mood, this constant drain keeps them far from their goals. Energy is the fuel behind every action, every thought, and every emotion. When it runs low, motivation drops and clarity disappears. Success requires consistent energy directed toward your priorities. That energy needs protection like a valuable asset because it is. Boundaries are not about pushing people away or building walls. They are about defining what is acceptable in your life and what is not. When you set clear limits, you communicate respect for yourself and teach others how to treat you. Without boundaries, you risk being taken for granted or overwhelmed by demands that do not align with your purpose. It is essential to know your limits and stand firm in them to avoid burnout and frustration. People often struggle with boundaries because they fear conflict or rejection. It feels uncomfortable to say no or to insist on your needs. But the truth is that failing to protect your energy leads to greater pain and resentment over time. Every time you ignore your limits, you chip away at your confidence and your ability to stay focused. Boundaries are a form of self-respect and self-care that enables you to operate at your best. The discomfort of setting them is small compared to the long-term benefit of preserving your strength. Setting boundaries starts with clarity about what you value and what drains you. This requires honest reflection on your relationships, your work, and your daily habits. Notice where you feel exhausted or resentful. These feelings often signal crossed boundaries. Ask yourself what changes you can make to protect your time, your emotions, and your mental space. This might mean limiting time with certain people, saying no to extra tasks, or removing distractions that steal your focus. The clearer you are about your limits, the easier it becomes to enforce them. Once you know your boundaries, you must communicate them clearly and calmly. This is a skill that takes practice. You do not need to justify or apologize for protecting your energy. A simple statement of your needs is enough. For example, if a person repeatedly drains you with complaints, you can say, "I care about you, but I need to step away when conversations get too negative." If work demands threaten your well-being, you can say, "I will focus on the priorities I can manage well." Clear communication prevents misunderstandings and reinforces your commitment to your limits. Enforcing boundaries consistently is the most important part. Setting a boundary once is not enough if you do not follow through. People will test your limits if they see flexibility. This is normal and not a sign of failure. Stand firm and repeat your boundary if necessary. This teaches others that you value your energy and expect the same from them. The more you protect yourself, the stronger your confidence grows. Over time, boundaries become natural and create a foundation for healthy relationships and focused work. Protecting your energy is also about the small daily choices that build resilience. What you watch, listen to, and engage with shapes your mental state. Avoid negativity that drags you down or distracts you from your goals. Instead, choose uplifting, inspiring, and educational inputs that fuel your growth. Your environment affects your energy as much as your interactions with people. Create spaces that encourage peace and focus. This might mean turning off notifications, tidying your workspace, or spending time in nature. All these actions recharge your mental and emotional batteries. Sometimes protecting your energy means stepping away from people or situations that are harmful. This can be difficult, especially when it involves family, friends, or colleagues. Yet your well-being must come first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Distance, whether temporary or permanent, is a form of boundary that safeguards your peace. It opens the door for healing and growth. It also sends a message that you value yourself enough to choose environments that support your best self. Your energy is your most valuable resource for success and happiness. Without it, you cannot show up fully for yourself or others. Setting firm boundaries allows you to focus on what truly matters and maintain the strength to pursue your dreams. It requires courage to say no and prioritize your needs. But this courage leads to freedom and control over your life. When you protect your energy, you build a foundation of mental clarity and emotional balance that supports every goal. Many people only realize the importance of boundaries after they have suffered burnout, frustration, or broken relationships. You do not have to wait for that moment. You can start now by paying attention to where your energy leaks away. Recognize the moments when you feel drained and ask what boundary you can set to prevent that next time. The process is gradual but powerful. Each boundary you set is a victory that strengthens your ability to create the life you want. The benefits of protecting your energy extend beyond personal success. When you respect your limits, you model healthy behavior for those around you. You encourage others to value their well-being as well. This creates a positive ripple effect that improves your relationships and your community. Energy protection is not just about defense. It is about creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Firm boundaries also sharpen your focus and productivity. When you reduce distractions and limit commitments that do not align with your goals, you free up mental space for creativity and action. You become more efficient because your energy is concentrated on priorities, not scattered by noise and obligation. This focused energy propels you forward and builds momentum that carries you through challenges. Ultimately, protecting your energy is a form of empowerment. It is a way of saying, I matter and I choose what I allow in my life. This mindset transforms how you approach daily decisions and long-term plans. Instead of reacting to every demand or pressure, you act intentionally with your well-being in mind. This control over your energy creates confidence, peace, and unstoppable forward movement. The practice of setting firm boundaries is a lifelong skill that grows stronger with use. It is not a one-time fix, but an ongoing commitment to yourself. As your life changes, your boundaries will evolve to meet new needs. Stay alert to how you feel and adjust accordingly. This dynamic approach keeps your energy protected and your mindset strong. In the end, mastering your mindset means protecting the source of your mental power. Your energy is the foundation of all your efforts. Guard it with respect and determination. Set firm boundaries and honor them. This simple but profound habit makes all the difference in achieving the life you truly deserve. Number 10. Cultivate patience to overcome immediate frustration. Frustration is one of the most common emotions people face on their journey towards success. Almost everyone has experienced the burning desire to see quick results only to be met with delays, obstacles, or setbacks. It is easy to feel overwhelmed and defeated when progress does not come as fast as expected. This frustration can quickly turn into giving up or making poor decisions. Yet the reality is that success, growth, and meaningful achievement almost never happen overnight. The ability to cultivate patience is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. It acts as a shield against the discouragement that so often derails the most promising efforts. Many people do not realize how destructive impatience can be. It clouds judgment, fuels anxiety, and wastes valuable energy on resistance rather than forward movement. Impatience pushes you to seek shortcuts or abandon goals prematurely. It makes you focus on what you do not have rather than what you are building. The truth is that patience does not mean passivity or waiting without action. It means steady, persistent effort combined with calm acceptance of timing beyond your control. Patience is active endurance. It is the quiet power behind every great achievement. The first step in cultivating patience is accepting that some things simply take time. Growth in skills, building relationships, financial success, and personal transformation do not follow a straight line or a schedule you control. There will be times when you feel stuck or progress seems invisible. Instead of fighting this reality, patience invites you to trust the process. It encourages a mindset that values consistent effort and resilience over instant gratification. This trust helps reduce stress and keeps your focus on the bigger picture. A realistic perspective on timeframes is essential to patience. Most people expect results too soon because of misleading messages from society, social media, and their own minds. They compare their beginning to someone else's middle or end. This comparison breeds impatience and self-doubt. Learning to measure progress by small wins and daily improvements builds patience naturally. Every step forward, no matter how small, is evidence that your efforts are working. Celebrating these small victories helps maintain motivation and quiets the voice that demands immediate success. Frustration often arises from a feeling of helplessness or lack of control. When things do not go your way, it is normal to feel irritated or anxious. Cultivating patience requires developing emotional intelligence to manage these feelings effectively. Instead of reacting impulsively or catastrophizing, patience teaches you to pause, breathe, and assess the situation calmly. This calm approach allows for better decision-making and preserves your energy for productive action. It also prevents damage to relationships and self-esteem that impatience can cause. Another important aspect of patience is setting realistic expectations. Sometimes frustration grows because goals are unrealistic or plans are poorly designed. Taking the time to set achievable milestones and preparing for potential obstacles increases your tolerance for delays. When you expect challenges, setbacks feel less like failures and more like necessary steps in the process. Patience thrives in an environment of realistic preparation and mental readiness. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for cultivating patience. It trains you to stay present rather than getting lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. When you practice mindfulness, you become aware of impatience as it arises and choose to respond differently. This awareness interrupts automatic reactions and creates space for thoughtful response. With regular practice, patience becomes a natural part of your mindset rather than a forced effort. Patience also grows through perseverance. The simple act of continuing to work despite frustration builds inner strength and confidence. Each time you overcome the urge to quit, your ability to endure grows. This endurance becomes a habit that shapes your character and supports every area of life. Those who master patience find they can handle stress and setbacks with greater ease. They do not let temporary discomfort dictate their future. It is crucial to remember that patience is not about ignoring problems or accepting mediocrity. It means giving your best consistently while understanding that results take time. You keep refining your approach, learning from mistakes, and adjusting as needed. This process requires humility and self-discipline. By committing to patience, you invest in long-term success rather than short-lived bursts of effort. Many people confuse patience with complacency. They wait for things to happen without taking initiative. True patience is combined with purposeful action. It means working steadily while maintaining faith in your goals and your capacity to reach them. This balance between effort and acceptance is what transforms frustration into growth. You learn to navigate delays without losing momentum or hope. The habit of patience also protects your mental and physical health. Chronic impatience causes stress hormones to rise, which negatively affects sleep, focus, and immune function. By cultivating patience, you reduce this harmful impact and create a more sustainable lifestyle. Your body and mind function better when you face challenges with calm and persistence. Another benefit of patience is improved relationships. When you are patient with yourself and others, you create space for understanding and cooperation. Frustration often leads to conflict and resentment. Patience diffuses tension and promotes empathy. It allows you to listen more deeply and communicate more effectively. These qualities strengthen your support system and make your journey less lonely. In practical terms, cultivating patience requires daily commitment. It helps to create reminders or rituals that reinforce this mindset. This could be journaling your progress, practicing gratitude, or using affirmations that focus on steady growth. Surrounding yourself with people who embody patience also influences your mindset positively. Learning from role models who have achieved success through perseverance provides inspiration and guidance. Sometimes impatience is triggered by unrealistic timelines set by external pressures. You might feel rushed by deadlines, competition, or comparisons. It is important to protect your pace by prioritizing what truly matters and letting go of unnecessary hurry. Patience means owning your timeline and not letting outside forces dictate your emotional state. This ownership gives you power and peace in the face of external demands. Ultimately, cultivating patience is an investment in your character and your future. It prepares you to handle whatever challenges life throws at you with grace and strength. Patience does not guarantee easy success, but it guarantees endurance and resilience. These qualities separate those who reach their goals from those who give up too soon. When you develop patience, you become unstoppable. The path to success is rarely smooth or quick. Most achievements require years of effort, learning, and setbacks. Frustration is inevitable, but it does not have to be destructive. By cultivating patience, you transform frustration into fuel for steady progress. You learn to trust timing beyond your control while taking consistent action within it. This mindset empowers you to move forward even when results seem distant.